Hey everyone, don't forget to visit the Patreon page if you want to support me with my customs, toy reviews, and whatever else I do on here. Hello out there, this is Wakeangel2K1, bringing you a very special toy review. This is actually a custom that I commissioned from someone else. It is Airazor from the original Beast Wars cartoon. We never really got a totally good and accurate Airazor toy. But as you may recall, sometime last year, I purchased the official basic class figure from some dude on 4chan. So this is that same figure, which I sent over to Unicron9. You can find him on DeviantArt. I will provide a link in the description below. Who I think is one of the greatest Transformers customizers out there. Now, I have dabbled in the art of custom Transformers myself, but I mostly stick to repaints. I haven't really gone as into the modification as some other toy customizers have done for Transformers. So any limits of my resculpting are like the head crest there or the mask there. I've never done anything nearly as extensive as this, and that's one of the things that makes Unicron 9 so cool. So let's get my relatively amateurish custom Transformers out of the way so we can concentrate on the amazingness that is the Airazor. Okay, so as you can see, Unicron obviously repainted the whole thing for the purpose of making it accurate to how she actually looked in the show. Let's put up a quick screen cap of what she looked like in the show, along with another picture of what the original toy looked like. Yeah, look at all that cool silver and gold and black on the show model, and the incredibly generic brown and yellow on the toy. Yeah. Alright, hopefully that provided a little bit of context. So, basically, what Unicron 9 did here was he re-sculpted a whole bunch of stuff to be more accurate. For example, her face. I don't really think it has much in the way of a visible mouth, but it's been re-sculpted and repainted to look a lot more like she looked on the show. And I just love like the beak head crest and the subtle shapes of the mouth. It's all pulled out and just looks so much cooler. He also did some remolding on the chest. As you can see, he made the chest a little bit wider, because the original toy, it had only this bird head here. These two things on the side, he sculpted those in. Now, he told me that he uses Epoxy Sculpt and Testor's paints, which is pretty much the same kind of stuff that I use. Of course, he is just way better at this kind of thing than I am, apparently. Well, you know, there's no shame in losing out to him. After all, I make Sonic toys. He can be the awesome Transformer guy as long as I still have the monopoly on Sonic. And as you can see, you can probably see right there at the edges of the arms where he actually made them a little longer. Yes, he actually reconfigured the proportions of the toy to be more accurate to her cartoon proportions. This actually brings her up closer to a deluxe size. He has also given her some new hands. They look like hands off a Marvel Legend figure or something. I didn't really ask his source. And he re-sculpted the thighs, and yes, he even made the legs longer, along with providing a more accurate paint job, but I'm figuring at this point that all goes pretty much without saying. Now, I did mention that he has made the figure taller, because remember, it was originally a basic class, so it was roughly the same height as this RC. As you can see, he's given it like almost a solid inch in extra height, so That's good. That's awesome. I like the bigger toy. Alright, so let's get into the things that the figure can do as a figure. Okay, so Unicron removed the spring-loaded gimmick from the wings. So there would be like a handle down there where you would pull it to make the wings like do their little flap strike thing. He removed that in favor of just like leaving them as articulated pieces back there. So you can move them around freely now. So she can still unfurl her wings for some dramatics. You can pretty much fold them back there if you want to change her silhouette to be, you know, not have wings on the back. But she's Airazor. Why would you not want her to have her wings? I mean, she turns into a freaking Perigene Falcon. That's awesome. These shoulder pads, as you may recall, are the ones that I made. I don't know if he completely remade new ones or if he added sculpt to mine. I'd actually feel kind of flattered if he used my shoulder pads still. So yeah, the shoulder pads still don't really impede movement. Although I am always a little bit self-conscious because I don't. And I think he added a little bit of stuff there to cover up a screw hole. Unicron, I think he could have ignored that because now I'm concerned to raise her arm up because I might scratch her shoulder. There. It still has the ball-jointed elbow, and thanks to the new hands, there's some wrist movement that the original figure did not have. When I bought this toy, it didn't have the weapon, so I don't have the weapon now, and I really don't care about that. Anyway, the weapon probably would have pegged in the forearm, so she could probably still use it. There's no waist joint. The way the figure is engineered, there just is no way to put that in. Although the hips remain cool ball joints with a lot of range, ball jointed knees, and swivels at the feet. I'll show you the cool toe paint job he did when we move on to her alt mode. Okay, so yeah. Okay, before anybody cries shoddy workmanship, remember that was not the original shoulder pad. It was made out of epoxy sculpt, and although it grips the peg holes okay, it's, you know, it's just not as frictiony as the original pad would have been, so it has a tendency to slip out like that. And so yeah, that's not his fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just because the toy didn't have shoulder pads when he got it. I gotta increase the friction points of contact, maybe with some rubber cement. It's not a big deal. And of course, Airazor always had a really good ball-jointed head. It folds completely into her chest for transformation, but it also has a good range of expressive tilt and stuff. It's a very good figure. Lots of kibble backpack, but you know, it's still the Airazor toy. It's only a custom, not a completely new thing. So let's get her into her bird mode to see where all this cool paint comes into play. And here's Airazor's bird mode. Now, just like the original toy, the legs are a bit overly long for a Perigene Falcon. Can't really help that. I mean, the only modification he made to the legs was to make them longer, which kind of exaggerates the problem that the toy already had. So, you basically got a Falcon in flight on top of, like, ostrich legs. That's how this toy has always looked. But that did not stop him from giving the legs a very nice paint job. I mean, let's take a close look at those legs. Look at that. That looks outright organic, doesn't it? I mean, the rough yellow actually really makes it look like an actual bird's feet with, like, you know, mud particles and stuff in them. That is really good. Like, that rough, earthy look is just, that's actually kind of hard to capture. Moving up, we can see how the rope, the way that the thighs are rotated, you really only see the white part from the outside, and the gold bits, which are supposed to be for her robot mode, are more or less inside. I mean, you don't want to look at the undercarriage too much. But then you see the face. He gave it a silver beak and repainted the eyes. and all that white and black does a really good job of capturing the look of feathers. Cause like, let's. Yeah, I mean it's all good, and yes, you can still open up the panels to get those wing blades in there. Was always kind of lukewarm on the wing blades. I don't really think that Airazor was much of a melee fighter. She was a gunner, mostly because being one of only 2 flying members of the Maximal team, it gave her the advantage of being able to attack from a distance. Ergo, she was not exactly one for melee weapons. Anyway, what are Falcons known for? They're known for having excellent distance vision and you know, and swift strikes. So, actually, I could totally see her as Team Sniper. That would be her role, Team Sniper. Too bad that her voice actor couldn't come back for the 2nd season, so they had to write her and Tigertron off. That was a shame. But yeah, like, if you want a custom transformer that'll still transform, like, well, you know, kind of has to do that. Then there you go. So yeah, the gimmick is removed and the legs look a little bit longer, but I am absolutely in love with that beautiful black and gray paint job. It looks so much more like the character on the show. Like it's a lot less generic than just the brown eagle-ish shades that she had before. So, in conclusion, I want to thank Unicron9 one more time for making such a fantastic Airazor custom. He charges a heck of a lot more than I do, but you pay for the amazing quality of his figures. He specializes in Transformers, of course, although I have seen him do some non-Transformer things as well. And frankly, he's just a lot better at this than I am. I mean, I'm pretty good with making little cartoon figures and stuff that don't have very complex engineering, but this guy, he knows what he's doing when he's altering a Transformer. Like, I never would have thought to find a way to make the arms and legs longer, or to remove the gimmick in the wings. That's all him, and he's just awesome at this. So this has been Wakeangel2K1 bringing you a very special review of a custom figure, which shall be displayed on my mantle with much honor for the rest of its days.